Meeting is streaming live on now. Mina Ben, are we going to maximize the poster again? And we are actually going to make a start. Mina Ben, if you can unmute Sadhviji and Pujya Swamiji, please, Mina Ben, and unmute yourself too. A global namaste, a very warm welcome to on the MINLA Zoom session. Let me say a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good morning to whichever part of the globe you're joining us from. Jai Ma Gange, Jai Sri Krishna. Before we start today's Zoom session with our delightful guests, Pujya Swamiji and Pujya Sadhviji, we would like to hold a 1-minute silence to pay respects to our Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. Minabin, can we maximize the poster, please, and just do the screen where we can see either Sadhviji or thank you. Thank you very much. So on behalf of MINLA and all the audience, we express our sincere condolences to the Queen and the rest of the royal family following the sad news of the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh. Currently, the funeral ceremony has just happened in the United Kingdom, so we will hold a silence to pay our respects to the royal family. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in this 1-minute silence for our Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. May the Lord rest his soul in peace. A global namaste, a good afternoon, a good morning, or a good evening to whichever part of the globe you're joining us from on this MINLA Zoom session. MINLA means Mina Khagram and Lalit Sodha. We started these Zoom sessions at the beginning of the pandemic in the year 2020 during the month of April. We wanted to spread love, happiness around the globe, inspire and motivate people through the pandemic, through the lockdown. Today, MINLA is truly delighted to have two wonderful souls who live on this earth. And they are Pujya Swamiji and Pujya Sadhviji from Parmarth Niketan Ashram in Rishikesh. We are so blessed that on this very day, we have divine presence of these two divine human beings who are going to motivate and inspire us. And who better can we ask for than these two lovely people? We are also excited to say that today, the Zoom session, the Indian-Ugandan Association has agreed to collaborate with us to spread this message of love, peace, and harmony through the globe, through the African continent, through the Asian continent, and through the European continent. So I'm not going to take up a lot of time. I really want to truly welcome these two lovely souls as our guest speakers. But before I introduce them, I would like our chief host of this Zoom session, Mrs. Mina Khagram, who is currently in Nakuru, Kenya, and I would request her to traditionally welcome our Pujya Muniji and Pujya Sadhviji. Mina Ben, may I request you to do the honors? Thank you.
For you, Sadhviji, that's for you. Thank you for coming. Swamiji.
Swamiji gets a garland from Mr. Ramesh Bhai Khagram.
We met in 1994.
This is for you. Beautiful roses from Nakuru. Do come and visit us. Thank you. Global Namaskar to all. Jai Gange, Jambo, Karibu. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the flamingo town of Nakuru, where Lake Nakuru is famous for wildlife and flamingos in Nakuru. Nakuru County is the one where world famous fastest runner like Eliud Kipchoge are born. Dr. Lalit, my cute cousin, and myself, MINLA Zoom, are super excited to welcome you all here who have joined in this Zoom session and on Facebook Live. Welcome Mr. Mohan Rao, Chairman, and Sanjay Bhai, hardworking Sanjay Bhai, I would say, in Lohana Majan, Thakkar of the Indian Association of Uganda, and my humble welcome to Pujya Swamiji and Sadhviji. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Bibi and Bana, let me introduce to you our backbone of this session, MC Dr. Lalit Sodha. He is a professional speaker, chiropractic, and author. He is recipient of many awards, but he humbly says, don't mention. Can't help to say, recently he's been awarded Marwa Journalist Award. Thank you. Over to you, Lalit.
Thank you very much, Meena Ben.
Thank you.
Moving forward with this Zoom session, I would like to take this opportunity to physically, in spirit, welcome our two wonderful guest speakers and introduce them. Our first guest speaker, Pujya Swami Chidanand Saraswati Muniji. Aapke charanon mein koti koti pranam. Our Swamiji, he has a huge motto in life, and he says, in the service of God and humanity. He selflessly dedicates the welfare of all. He leads, directs, and inspires numerous wide-scale services initiatives. Pujya Swamiji currently is the president and the spiritual head of the Parmarth Niketan Ashram in Rishikesh, India. He is the co-founder of the Global Interfaith Vash Alliance, GIWA. He is also the founder of the Indian Heritage Research Foundation, the Ganga Action Parivar, the Divine Shakti Foundation, the Interfaith Humanitarian Network, and the Project Hope, and is a co-founder also of the International Yoga Festival. Pujya Swamiji is a recipient of innumerable awards, including recently the Parliament of World Religion Ahimsa Award for his exceptional contribution that enhance and strengthen the interfaith community through non-violence. Pujya Swamiji, as I said, is a recipient of innumerable awards, but he remains and seems very unaffected by this incredible list of accomplishments and remains a pious child of God. Owning nothing, draped in saffron robes, living a life of a true renunciate. Swamiji travels the world, bringing the light of wisdom, inspiration, upliftment, and the divine touch to thousands across the globe. Swamiji, आपका इस Zoom सेशन में हार्दिक निमंत्रण स्वीकार करने का और आपका यहाँ खूब हम दोनों और सारी ऑडियंस आपका खूब नम्रता से आपको वेलकम करते हैं. Thank you very much for coming. Our next guest speaker is none other than our Pujya Sadhviji, an author. She is an amazing personality who actually has made a huge difference in the movement at the Parmarth Niketan. She is a PhD and is a renowned spiritual leader in India, president of the Divine Shakti Foundation, a charitable organization bringing education and empowerment to women and children. She is the Secretary General of the Global Interfaith Alliance, launched by the UNICEF, the first alliance of religious leaders for water, sanitation, and hygiene. Sadhviji is also the director of the world-famous International Yoga Festival. Originally from Los Angeles and a graduate of Stanford University, Sadhviji has lived at the Parmarth Niketan Ashram in Rishikesh in the Himalayas for the 24 years, where she gives spiritual discourses, satsang, meditation, and leads myriads of humanitarian programs. So again, truly delighted by these two wonderful souls who reside on this world, who have agreed to come onto the Zoom session with us on MINLA. So we warmly welcome you and ask you to carry on with today's Zoom session. However, before I ask you to continue, Pujya Swamiji, Pujya Sadhviji, we would like the International Ugandan Association, Indian Ugandan Association President, Mr. Mohan Rao, to actually formally welcome on their association and the behalf of them. Thank you very much. Mr. Mohan Rao, are we on? There we go. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Mohan Rao.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Namaskar. I hope worldwide we are watching. I don't know what to say. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Mohan Rao. I'm the chairman of Indian Association Uganda. Motivation is one of the driving forces behind the human behavior. It is absence can lead mental illness such as depression. I feel great honor that I have been blessed to be the part of this highly motivational program. On behalf of Indian Association Uganda, I have privilege to introduce our guest speakers, Pujya Chidanand Saraswati ji and Sadhviji, to share.
I think we are having some internet connection issues, Mr. Mohan
With
Rao.
us world on this event. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, yes.
Yeah. On behalf of Indian Association Uganda, I have the privilege to introduce our guest speakers, Pujya Chidanand Saraswati ji and Sadhviji, to share with us word of wisdom on this event, which is hosted by Srimati Mina Khagram, and Sri. I'm very inspired, as it is an excellent idea to have a connection with all communities from different places, especially online, considering this difficult time of the pandemic. Thank you all for sparing your time to take this part in this life-changing the event. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohan Rao. And without further delay, we go on to our lovely guest speakers. Sadhvi ji, Bhagwati ji, aapko pranam, Jai Gange, Jai Sri Krishna. The stage is all yours.
Param Pujya Swamiji, Dr. Lalit Mina Mohan all of the organizers. It's such a real joy and a real blessing to be able to be together with you. I'm so impressed by what Dr. Lalit and Mina have been doing through these programs. Really, it's amazing being so busy in the community, as Mina was explaining about all of what Lalit is doing anyway in the community. But nonetheless, to take this time and to take the energy and to take the effort to bring together these programs, to bring inspiration, motivation, awareness, awakening to people all over the world during the time of this pandemic is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift that the two of you are really giving to the world. So deep gratitude to Lalit to Mina and we are just waiting for everything to open and be safe and welcome you both to the banks of Mother Ganga. And that will be such a beautiful blessing. Today is so special. I mean, being together anyway is always special. Today is very special because we find ourselves right in the middle of the holy days of Navratri, leading up to Ram Navami, leading also coincidentally and beautifully up to Earth Day next week. And it's really a time for us to look within. We're now a little bit over a year into this pandemic. Some parts of the world are doing much better. Some parts are doing much worse. Some parts are sort of on par. But one thing is for sure, which is wherever we live in the world, we still are having to be very careful. Our lives have changed. We are masked. We are socially distant. We're not allowed to go to a variety of places or have a variety of events or programs. Our lives have been very deeply changed. And what we're seeing now is so much frustration, anxiety, depression. People are understandably and very naturally fed up with like, how long do we have to be inside? How long do we have to be not with our friends, not in parties, not in weddings? And it's such a beautiful reminder of actually why we have taken birth, why we are here, what the purpose of our lives is. So many of us have gotten very misdirected into thinking that the highest purpose of our life is how many parties we can go to, or the highest purpose of our life is how many people can be there at the wedding of our son or our daughter or our own, how many shopping trips we can go for, how many restaurants we can eat at, how many people we can gather around ourselves. And what the pandemic has given us is what our spiritual gurus and sages and saints and rishis have been telling us for thousands of years, which is go within. Go within. It's not about the external parties and weddings and possessions and achievements and accomplishments and what we buy. It's actually about that inner experience. And as we find a new level of patience, as we find a new level of resilience, because this has lasted a lot longer than most people had anticipated. I remember last year in April telling people, well, don't worry, we'll see you this summer. It'll just be, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we'll go inside, we'll protect ourselves. समर में मिलते हैं, जुलाई, August, तब तक सब एकदम ठीक हो जाएगा. Here we are now, a year later, thinking, क्या इस summer में तब तक ठीक हो जाएगा कि नहीं? We don't even know. And it presents us with this uncertainty that is very difficult for most of us to really deal with. But again, it's a reminder. It's a reminder of the uncertainty of life and the awareness that all of that which we thought we were so certain about, hum kahan jayenge, kisse milenge, kya hoga, the awareness that nothing is certain. COVID is just yet another example, another opportunity to remember every minute of life is such a blessing, is such a gift. Every moment, such a gift. Nothing is certain. And this is where it brings us back to the inner world, to that one aspect which is eternal, that one aspect that doesn't go up or down, that isn't born, that doesn't get sick, that doesn't die, that truth of who we are, whether we say soul, or we say spirit, or we say divinity, or we say God, or we say aham brahmasmi, or we say soham, or we say truth, or love, or consciousness. Whatever word we use, that one aspect of ourselves that is eternal, that is unchanging, that never was born, that never dies, that, as Bhagwan Krishna reminds us in the Bhagavad Gita, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be cut by knives, cannot be wet by water or dried by the wind. That true self, that is what we are actually here on earth to experience, to know. Most of us, most of the time, have been too busy, right? How many of us have always said, well, mujhe malum hai ki sadhana to karna chahiye, dhyan to karna chahiye, swadhyay to karna chahiye. Lekin time kahan milega? How do I find the time? How many of us have said, I don't have time to meditate, to pray, to do seva, to really go within? And so we think about this time as God's way of saying to us, chalo, ab time mil gaye hai na. Now you have time. Use it. Instead of using it to just do everything that you used to do outside, now you do it sitting at home. Use the time to really find what is the truth of you, and how can you be the best vehicle, the best vessel, the best instrument in God's hands. And to remember, whether you are sitting at home alone, in an apartment or a house somewhere in the world, whether there's a family, whether there's a community you're interacting with, either way, to remember, you are never alone. At Parmarth Niketan every morning, we have these beautiful prayers in which we are reminded, Tu akele nahi pyare, Ram tere saath mein. We are never alone. God is always there. And this time is that opportunity to remember and experience and dive into that presence of the divine within ourselves. And with Ram Navami coming this week, it's such a beautiful opportunity to say, okay, yes, we celebrate. We celebrate the time that Bhagwan Ram took birth. But he didn't just take birth as a historical figure. It wasn't just, janam liya, yud lada, fir raja kiya, fir sharir shant ho gaya. That was not actually what Bhagwan Ram came onto earth for. When the divine comes on earth in form, we are told, I come on earth when darkness is overpowering light, when adharma is overpowering dharma. That is when I come in form. So Bhagwan Ram came to restore dharma, to restore light. Not just once, not just against Ravan and the other asuras, but to be there forever for us. Whenever we feel that in our lives, darkness is there, that darkness of ignorance, that darkness of fear, that darkness of grudges that we experience in our lives. How many grudges we hold on to? How many of us wake up in the morning thinking about all of the burdens of our day? How many people have wronged us? How much stress we're going to have to go through in the day? That's darkness. That is darkness of ignorance that is leading us into darkness of suffering. Bhagwan Ram is there, has taken birth, is always with us to remind us, no, that is not who you are. That is just what is happening in the world, other people's karmic packages, the karmic package of the world. But that is not you. That is not your world. Because remember, we create our own world. And we create it based on our own thoughts. And if you think that you're going through a difficult situation, that you've got grudges, you've got troubles, you've got conflicts, well, just look. Look at what Bhagwan Ram had to go through. Look at what Bhagwan Krishna had to go through. I believe we are given these stories. Taki, whatever we are going through in our life, we're able to look and say, well, I haven't been banished. I haven't been sent to the forest for 14 years. I haven't been kicked out of my home in this way. I haven't had demons trying to kill me. I haven't lost a loved one in this way. Sure, we lose so many people in so many ways, but not in this way. That we are given these beautiful examples of what even God on earth had to go through to remind us. Our puja, our prayers, our japa, they're not inoculations against things in the external world happening. Pandemics will happen. Illnesses will happen. Loss will happen. But spirituality is an inoculation against us losing ourselves as the world goes up and down. It is an inoculation against us being lost in darkness, lost in suffering, lost in ignorance. And so as we pray, as we celebrate Bhagwan Ram's presence on earth, let us ask ourselves, has Bhagwan Ram taken birth in our heart? And how can we spend the next few days until Ram Navami really preparing our own heart to be this beautiful place for Bhagwan Ram to take birth? How can we live our lives in Dharma, in light, and then have Bhagwan Ram take that birth? Taki, whatever happens in our lives, we are able to say, yes, of course. I remember Pujya Swamiji gave a very beautiful mantra a few years ago. We've used it since, but I still remember when he first said it. He said, the purpose of life is not to ask God, oh God, why me? But to say to God, try me. And this is the beautiful message that Bhagwan Ram gives us, is, okay, God, banishment to the forest, no problem. Loss of the kingdom, no problem. Wife gets kidnapped, no problem. War with demons, no problem. Loss of wife and children due to the idiocy of some village whose vision is dark, whose vision is corrupted. How much he had to go through, but no problem. Because he chose Dharma overall. And to remind ourselves of that. And lastly, there's so much to share. Time is very short, but just lastly, Earth Day is coming up also this week. And here we are in Navratri, worshiping the divine feminine, praying to the divine feminine, doing puja to the mother goddess. Let us remember that Shakti, that Prakriti, that Shrishti, it's all feminine, right? All of these words are feminine. The creation, Shrishti, nature, Prakriti, the energy of creation, Shakti, it's all feminine. That divine feminine is sacred. And she's sacred whether she's our wife, our daughter, our sister, our mother, a woman in our company, a woman, a girl in our community, in the world, the women and the girls who are suffering in so many countries, in so many ways around the world. That mother goddess lives in them. And if we really are worshipers of the deity, if our puja is real, let us take that reverence and take that love and share it with all of the women in our lives, all of the girls in our lives, and remember to honor, to respect and to love them, and to honor and to respect and to love Mother Earth, and to do whatever we can in how we eat, how we shop, how we live, how we move through the world, to remember that every choice we make is a choice for Mother Earth. And we have that beautiful power, that beautiful opportunity to bring healing to our Mother Earth with that Shakti of the Mother Goddess. So we pray to the Mother Goddess, we invoke her Shakti in helping us be channels of a divine creation, of a divine Shrishti in our homes, in our communities, in our worlds, and on Mother Earth. And we bow to the presence of Bhagwan Ram in our own hearts, knowing that his presence guides us, infuses us, informs us every minute and every moment of how to live in Dharma, as Dharma, knowing Tua Kelly Nahipe, Param Peresa. So thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity to share my deepest and humblest pranam to Pujya Swamiji, and deep gratitude again to Lalit Bhai, Mina Ben, Ramesh Bhai, all of the beautiful organizers, and all of our sisters and brothers joining us today.
Thank you very much, Sadhviji. With these wonderful words and one take home, the question, the answer that you got from Pujya Muniji, saying to God, why me? Try me. Oh my God, it really resonates. That really goes deep into our feelings over here to make sure that we can continue with that spirit. Thank you for these wonderful words, and thank you for reminding us that it's the Earth Day also and Ram Navami coming up. Thank you once again. पूज्य स्वामी जी, आपके चरणों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम, और हम सब आपको विनंती करते हैं कि आपके आशीर्वचन से आज का सेशन हमको धन्य बना दो। दंडवत प्रणाम।
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षो मंगलायतनो हरिः सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मा मुरारिस त्रिपुरांतकारी भानु शशिभू मिसुतो बुधश्च गुरुश्च शुक्रः शनिराहुकेतवा सर्वे ग्रहा शांतिकरा भवन्तु सर्वे ग्रहा शांतिकरा भवन्तु। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Dear Divine Soul, our respected Dr. Sadhvi Bhagavati Saraswati ji, the chairman of Ugandan Indian Association, Shri Mohan Rao ji, our beautiful yogi, Shrimati Mina Ben, and a very dedicated and devoted soul, Dr. Lalit Sodha ji. And our team, Dr. a very dedicated, beautiful soul, Dr. Kripali Patel, and our a dear sadhak, a beautiful karma yogi, Ganga Nandini ji, and the people all across the globe, my dear Atman, dear devotees, and my sisters and brothers. It's so beautiful to be together after such a long time. I remember we had a beautiful, a divine katha in Parmarth Niketan, Rishikesh, in the Himalayas in India, on the banks of the Ganges, when our late, a beautiful soul of Uganda, Shri Manubhai Madhwani ji and his entire family, our Mayur Bhai Madhwani, and all together came here and heard this 7 days beautiful Bhagavad Katha and gave opportunity to so many people through their generosity. And during that time, we started in a bigger way. Aarti was going on the banks of Ganga, but that time, the beautiful Ganga Aarti was organized in a very grand way and a gracious way. And everyone loved that Ganga Aarti. Our Mina Bain comes into our international yoga festival. We have every year where more than 100 countries, yogis and yoga seekers come to learn yoga, meditation, pranayama, and Indian culture. And after the katha, I was invited to Uganda by Shri Manubhai Madhwani. It was so beautiful to be there, to be with you all. And let me tell you, Uganda, you are very lucky. Uganda is a beautiful land, very fertile. Ye loko mane kehta, even you throw a lakda, even a piece of wood, that also grows so beautifully. You are living in such a beautiful land. જ્યાં જે પણ તમે વાવો એ જ ઉગે. Second thing, somebody shared with me કે લોકો અહીંયાના બહુ સારા છે, બડા માયાળુ છે, ભાવવાળા છે. હું જ્યાં પણ જાઉં છું, wherever I go, wherever I meet Ugandan people from Uganda, our Indian people, and Ugandan people itself, the Ugandan dance, African dance, I have seen. I love these people. But now, wherever you have moved from Uganda to any part of the world, you have kept the touch of Ugandan land. And you have kept the touch of Indian culture, Indian Sanskriti. It's not the land only is fertile, in our life also. In Bhagavad Gita, it is beautifully said, Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya bhidiyate. Lord Krishna tells the Arjuna, Arjun, this very body is like a field. Whatever you grow, sow the seed in the field, it grows. The how you want to use this field is let you use it. Same thing is with our body. Je pan tame vavo, it grows. The seed of truth, the seed of non-violence, the seed of love, the seed of oneness, the seed of inclusiveness. What is needed today? Not only in our life, but all over the globe. Can be done. We are very lucky that Indian culture has given us beautiful mantras where we learn the power of oneness and allness and inclusiveness. And that's what is needed today. In the 21st century, if anything is needed, is the mantra of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We are one family. When we have this truth within us, in our families, you live together, you love together, you share together. Even having so much in life, we have given this mantra, life is not only to have more, God bless you, that you have more. But our culture says, it is not enough only to have more, but life is to share more, to give more and care more. Especially during the time of Corona, when there is a lockdown in so many countries. I think in Uganda also, maybe you must be going through it. Maybe we are locked, but we should not be down. We should feel high. We should stay up. Stay high. Our energy should stay high. This is the time we can use our mantras of yoga, meditation, and pranayama. These are the amazing immunity boosters. These are the immunity boosters. अपने साथ रहो, अपनों के साथ रहो. हम तो कुंभ मेला में हैं. We are in midst of Kumbh Mela. We have seen people have come from across the globe. So many people have come from so many cities and having one dip in the Ganga. One vow, just one dip, one dubki. When we are having this dubki, I want to remind you, even you are sitting there, we all have prayed for you, we are all have included you in our dip on the banks of Ganga in Parmarth Niketan in Rishikesh. When we had a snan, we have remembered you all. But at the same time, I want to remind you that even you are here or there, after the dubki, we have to take an inner dip. One inner dip, अंदर की डुबकी. कुंभ जो है सागर मंथन से स्वयं के मंथन की यात्रा है. अपना मंथन, अपना इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, सेल्फ इंट्रोस्पेक्शन. कुंभ सागर मंथन से स्वयं के मंथन की यात्रा है कि I have to see deep within, where do I stand? Whether I am living in peace or in pieces, whether I am becoming bitter or better every day, whether I am sad or upset because of small issues. That dip must be taken inside of us. And that's why this Kumbh Mela gives us the message. खुद को देखें, खुद को तलाशें, खुद को तराशें. The last, our culture, as you have maintained for so many years, being in Africa, My humble request to you is maintain your culture, your language, your food, your Sanskriti, and teach them to your children. I was very happy, Sadhviji, when she was speaking in between her speech in so many times in Hindi. Look at her. It is not in her blood even. Not even this culture. She was born in America, being in Hollywood, came all the way to Hollywoods of India, got the best education from Stanford, graduated from Stanford doing her PhD in neuro child psychology, came here just first time ever in her life, had the darshan of Ganga and given her heart to Ganga. That power Ganga has, that power our culture has. Being there, remember that power of your culture. Remember your power of your language also. If she can speak, we all can speak our language. તમે કૂતરાઓને જોવો ને, કૂતરાઓ ક્યાં ઇંગ્લિશમાં ભસે છે યા સોયલીમાં ભસે છે? આ લોકો પણ પોતાની લેંગ્વેજમાં જ ભસે છે. બિલાડીને જોવો તમે. Look at the cats and dogs and crows. They always bark in their language, meow in their own language. We have to teach our children our language. This is very, very important. And second, our nature. Mother Nature needs us. Corona has given us the message. Corona to me is an ambassador of Mother Nature. Mata bhumi putroham prithivya. Mata bhumi putroham prithivya. Mata bhumi putroham prithivya. Mata bhumi putroham prithivya. The earth is our mother and we are her children. Mother Nature has given us so much. Now time has come to give back to her. Let us take care of our water. Let us take care of our jungles, our forests, our trees, our natural resources. If there is no Ganga, there is no Kumbh. There is no Pani, there is no Prayag. There is no water, there are no festivals, no life. Water is sacred, water is life, and water is a blessing. We must take care of it, we must preserve it. We have worshipped the Creator for so long. Let us take care of the creation. This is the time we have to understand. The time is now, and time is precious. Very soon, the United Nations says, by 2040, half the drinking water will be lost, will disappear. That's why we all have to work together to preserve and protect Mother Nature. The only way we can protect our future. So remember, culture, nature, and future. Last but not the least, Corona. As I said, even being in lockdown, stay locked. Situation is very bad all over the world, happening everywhere. But don't feel down. Always stay high. Be with your own family members. अपने साथ रहो, अपनों के साथ रहो, खुद को तलाशो. Sadhviji was explaining that God has given time. This is a God-given present. Use it wisely. अपने साथ रहो, अपनों के साथ रहो, खुद को तलाशो, खुद को तराशो, खुद को देखो और उसको देखो। ये भी देख, वो भी देख, देखत देखत ऐसा देख, मिट जाए धोखा, रह जाए एक। और उस एक को याद करते हुए, उस प्रभु को याद करते हुए, कोरोना के जो यूनिसेफ ने, WHO ने, and out of your own country must have given you SOPs, must have given you the do's and don'ts. Please follow them seriously. Maintain social distancing, wear the mask, wash your hands with soaps till 60 seconds, and stay healthy, stay safe. God bless you, and I invite you all. Please, when this corona is over, come to India. We all will have a special snan. Satvik snan, kumbh or no kumbh doesn't matter. We'll have a Karuna kumbh. Together, we all will have meditation, yoga, and pranayama and prayers. I pray for all those people who have lost their lives because of this corona. I pray for those also, those families who have lost their dear and near one. May Almighty Lord give you the strength, peace, and solace. Thank you for organizing this beautiful program. And I have, for all of you, a beautiful plant, Rudraksha. This Rudraksha is here. I can give you virtually. And when you come to India, I will give each one of you actually. God bless you and welcome home. Welcome all. And again, my invitation to you all for Ganga Aarti and Ganga home. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Swamiji, for such inspiring words. And virtually, we would love to accept the Rudraksh plant. But even better, what an opportunity we would get if we received it from your own hands in the Holy Land. So we pray to the Lord and we pray to Ma Gange that this wish for all the viewers globally on Facebook, on social media platforms, and on the Zoom platform, that this wish comes true. And especially if the two divine souls like yourselves are blessing us, I am certain that this moment will come true, the corona crisis will end, and we will all be able to come and enjoy the Ganga Aarti and accept the Rudraksh plant from you. Thank you so much for these divine words. We really appreciate your presence. Now, if this is okay with you, I know time is running fast, and due to the 3 different time zones, I will limit to 2 questions each. Is that okay, Swamiji, Sadhviji? May I humbly ask you a couple of questions? Thank you. Swamiji, first, if I may say for you, why the Parmarth Niketan Ashram? What inspired you to create such a place, such a divine place at the banks of the Ganges? What was your true inspiration?
I think I have taken extra time. I'll ask Sadhviji, because creation is here, but inspiration is there. How she was inspired came all the way. And main thing is not the creation, is the inspiration. And I'll ask Sadhviji, I have taken extra time anyway. I was supposed to speak little, but I have spoken 10 minutes extra. I'll ask Sadhviji to answer the question.
No problem, Swamiji, whatever your agna is, go ahead. Sadhviji, if you may be able to answer that question.
I'll share on this briefly, but Mataji, your words are such blessings. There is no such thing as extra time or anything like that. With you life is timeless. Moments are timeless, and moments are gifts and precious. So the ashram, I'll talk later about what inspired me to come, but the ashram itself, the word Parmarth is really what the ashram is dedicated to, and it's what Pujya Swamiji's entire life is dedicated to, and what all of the teachings are dedicated to, for the welfare of all, for others. The whole theme is basically how we can be tools and vehicles and vessels of the divine flow for all. And so whether it's logistic needs, if what people are needing is food, or they're needing housing, or they're needing medical care, or they're needing education, or they're needing training, or they're needing clean water, or they're needing toilets, we are there with Pujya Swamiji's guidance and blessings to provide that. And yet we're also very deeply and acutely aware of the fact that there are many, many people in the world, a very significant number of people in the world who have very full bellies, who have no diagnosable disease that a doctor is going to treat, who have lots of education, lots of titles and degrees, and yet their hearts are empty. Their stomachs may be full, but their hearts are empty. And so Parmarth is dedicated to them as well. And so whether it's an empty stomach or an empty heart, we really aim to fill that and serve that. And so whether it's the yoga programs, the meditation programs, the satsang programs, the arti, the ashram itself, really dedicated to helping others in whatever way we possibly can. And that it's not surprising at all that Pujya Swamiji would be the head of an institution like this, because that really is what his entire life is rooted on and based upon.
Thank you very much for that wonderful answer, Sadhviji. It's a big help to humanity. And thank you for sharing that. Sadhviji, thank you. Swamiji, one question for you. To remain focused on the spiritual path, what would you say are the three main tips? Or if there are the three main tips, what would you say how we can remain focused on spiritual path?
One, surrender. Number two, smaran. Number three, seva. Surrender, samarpan, seva, and smaran. Three things. And to enforce these three things in your life, number one, meditation. And then practice that meditation during the whole day, no reaction. And number three, introspection. As I said earlier, first is meditation. Meditation is the best medication for all agitation, especially in Corona time. Meditate and introspect. Introspection, positively think. God has given you so much. Introspect what blessings are given to you, this very body. And look at the Corona time, how people are losing their lives. God has given you great health. Introspect, as I said earlier, what is happening to my life? What is happening to me? Every day think. Open your balance sheet in the evening before you sleep and see whether I'm becoming bitter or better, whether I am in peace or in pieces. बात बन जाएगी. तो meditation, no reaction, introspection. और पहली बात, समर्पण, सेवा और स्मरण. इन दोनों की तीनों की त्रिवेणी अपने जीवन का अंग बन जाए तो जीवन में फोकस भी होगा और जीवन में शांति भी होगी.
Thank you. The three S's to success or spiritual success? Samarpan, Seva, or Smaran? Very well said, Swamiji. Thank you very much for your answer. I will shift the next question to Pujya Sadhviji. Sadhviji, you have written many books, inspired so many people, and particularly Nari Shakti, women empowerment and women acknowledgement. What is your next publication that's coming up? Would you share that with us?
Sure. Well, first of all, it's really important to mention that for me, when I write, it doesn't feel, it's very much like when I speak and give satsang. It doesn't feel like it's coming from me. It feels like it's coming through me. And when I write, it's the same. I literally sit down at my computer and I close my eyes. And it's a very, very meditative experience. All my phones are off. I usually have earplugs in my ears and I just channel it and just type. And of course, you know, you have to go through later with spell check and fix all of what you've done because your eyes were closed. But it's a very, very meditative experience. So writing is something that I love to do. As with speaking, it is something that feels to me like the divine flowing through me, and I'm just being used as a vehicle. So the next publication is actually something very exciting and very dear to my heart. The first week of August, a book, which is my memoir. So it's an autobiography, is coming out, and it's called Hollywood to the Himalayas. And it's the whole story of how I came to India, but also my 25 years of life prior to coming to India. In that, what I experienced, what I went through, the challenges that I had, the difficulties that I had, because Lalit Bhai, one of the things that really worries me is that people think that somehow grace or blessings are only available for some. And I know that sometimes people look at me and they think, oh, wow, you know, I wish I could be holy like you or pure like you. And the whole point of the book is to help people understand that I didn't come out of the womb enlightened. I was not someone who in childhood, you know, wasn't interested in games or socializing and just meditated like so many of the spiritual teachers we have today. I really had a very normal in many ways and even very challenging in other ways upbringing. And the exciting piece for me of sharing the book is for people to understand grace doesn't discriminate. Grace is there for all. And regardless of what you've experienced, regardless of what you've been through, as long as your heart is open, grace will flow through you. And so I'm really excited about sharing aspects of my life that most people don't even know with them, so that people really understand how graceful grace is and how available grace is for everyone. And that there is no one who is unqualified from being showered with grace. And of course, the majority of the book is all about India and the experiences that a 25-year-old Jewish young woman from America had in entering, you know, a Hindu world, an ashram, the world of a disciple, and then the world of seva. And then ultimately, by God's grace and Pujya Swamiji's grace, the world of leadership and what that's been like. So yes, that comes out in August, and it's something I'm very excited about, and I feel very, very blessed to be able to share it with the world.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure the world is awaiting that autobiography of yours, Sadhviji. And I'm requesting for a personalized signed copy for myself. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, and that is something that I would love to come and accept from you on the banks of Ganga in the presence of Swamiji. So I will take your blessings for that. स्वामी जी, आपके लिए अंतिम प्रश्न है कि आपका अंतिम लक्ष्य क्या है? What is your ultimate goal? Swamiji, we'll need to unmute because you're muted.
Yes.
आप सुन सकते हैं, बिल्कुल.
Okay. The goal only is oneness with the divine. That's it. Nothing else. And to serve humanity. Atmano mokshartham jagadahitaye cha. अपना मोक्ष और जगत का हित. अपना मोक्ष किसमें है? साध्वी जी अभी कह रही थी कि why me, try me. I will end with this. Not my will, but thy will. अच्छा भगवान तेरी मर्जी. Not my will, but thy will. Whatever. किसी ने मुझे आज पूछा, if suppose somebody, some Supreme Court advocate was here, he asked, मुझे तो लगता है मैं नरक में जा रहा हूं. ऐसा लगता है मुझे. उन्होंने कहा मुझे लगता है मैं नरक में जाऊंगा. What about you? अगर if God sends you in the hell, what do you think? I said, I have no problem. Wherever he sends me, hell, heaven, wherever. जहां जाएंगे वहां heaven create कर देंगे. जहां जाएंगे वहां मस्ती create कर देंगे. जहां जाएंगे वहां. हम तो जंगल में थे. When I was very young, I was very little. When I came to the jungle in the forest, there was no restaurant, no Amazon.com, no door-to-door service, no restaurants. And whom I was living with, all those saints, whenever I ask them, how are you? Say, super, mast. बस यही लक्ष्य जीवन का. जहां भी आप हैं, सुपर रहो, मस्त रहो. फिर वो जहां रखे, तुम जहां भेज दोगे वहां जाएंगे. राम का नाम लेकर जो मर जाएंगे, फिर जहां भेज देगा वहां जाएंगे. वहां क्या सोचना है? यहां भी मस्त हैं, वहां भी मस्त हैं. बस जहां भी रहो, मस्त रहो. अच्छा भगवान तेरी मर्जी. अच्छा भगवान तेरी मर्जी. अरे तेरी अर्जी, हमारी कोई अर्जी नहीं है, एप्लीकेशन ही नहीं है. तेरी मर्जी मेरी मर्जी. जिस दिन हो जाएगा नॉट माई विल दाई विल, बात बन जाएगी. बस इसी तरह से जिए. जहां वो ले जाए, जैसे वो रखे, राजी हैं उसी में. जिसमें तेरी रजा है, यहाँ यूं भी वाह वाह है, वहां वो भी वाह वाह है. जो भगवान की इच्छा, उसी में मस्त रहो. कोरोना काल हो या करुणा काल हो, दोनों में ये देखो कि मेरा कनेक्शन जो है भगवान से जुड़ा रहे. बहुत कलेक्शन कर लिया, अब करेक्शन की ओर मुड़े और कनेक्शन की ओर मुड़े. करेक्शन और कनेक्शन. कलेक्शन इकट्ठा किया, कोई कोरोना में काम नहीं आ रहा. लेकिन अब कोरोना टाइम में अपना करेक्शन करें और भगवान से कनेक्शन करें, बात बन जाएगी. बस यही जीवन का गोल हो. एक तू जो मिला, ऐसा है ना, एक तू ना मिला, सारी दुनिया मिली तो भी क्या है. बस उसके साथ रिश्ता जुड़ जाए और फिर जीवन में मस्ती मस्ती है. और याद रखो, जिसकी मस्ती जिंदा है उसकी हस्ती जिंदा है, बाकी तो सब जबरदस्ती जिंदा है. अपने को बस मस्त रहो.
Thank you. What an end to the session, Swami ji. आपने तो ये कोरोना काल में सब कुछ हमको सर्कस जैसा दिखा दिया. और it is such a blessing from the two of you and such an inspiration with that end to the session today, that we have to, in the corona, we have collected a lot. Now we have to make a correction and we have to make a connection. So thank you for those 3 C's of the corona climate. We really appreciate it. Now, I know time is always limited. Again, as I said, we're in 3 different time zones. But if I may request a few minutes more of your time, and the MINLA Zoom session goes through what we call a rapid fire round. What I would request to both of you humbly is it is a very short question and a very, very short answer from each one of you. I will alternate questions from Pujya Sadhviji to Pujya Swamiji. And it's about 18 questions, and we shall finish that in probably no more than 2 up to 3 minutes. So are we okay with that, Sadhviji? Swamiji, aapko bhi unmute karna hai, so we can, yeah, thank you for unmuting. Is that okay? I take your blessings to continue with the MINLA Zoom rapid fire round. The first question is directed to Pujya Sadhviji. Sadhviji, the name, His Holiness Pujya Swami Chidananda Saraswati Muniji.
I'm so sorry, what is the question?
The statement or the question is, the name, His Holiness Pujya Swami Chidananda Saraswati Muniji.
Mm-hmm.
What does the name mean to you?
Oh, grace, blessings, everything.
Thank you. Swamiji, aapka prashna aapke liye hai. What does the name Sadhviji Bhagavati Saraswati ji mean to you?
Sadhvi means who has dedicated her life for the all. Bhagavati is the Shakti, and Saraswati is the Vidya, who has a Vidya, intelligence, wisdom, and has dedicated her life for the all. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि एक ऐसी देवी who has transformed, touched and transformed millions through her wisdom, through her grace.
Thank you. Sadhvi ji, aapke liye prashna hai. Women empowerment.
Essential for our world today.
Thank you. Swamiji, mantra chanting.
Is the real power. Mantra is the real power, and we should chant all and every day.
Thank you. Sadhviji, importance of a guru.
Without a guru, that light in our lives cannot be found, or cannot be found with ease.
Thank you. Swamiji, how to get ultimate happiness?
Connect to yourself, connect to your GPS, and connect to the divine.
Sadhviji, Parmaniketan Ashram.
The home of my heart, the home of my soul, the home of my life.
Thank you. Swamiji, yoga.
Yoga means union, connects you not physically, mentally, emotionally, and yoga is the stress buster today, and yoga is immunity booster today.
Thank you. Sadhviji, the importance of satsang.
It is what brings us into connection with the truth. So it is as important as truth is important.
Thank you. Swamiji, Mata Gange.
My mother, which has given me so much in my life, love, peace, and harmony in my life.
Thank you. Sadhviji, the ultimate pilgrimage.
I'm sorry, the ultimate?
The ultimate pilgrimage one should make.
To Gangotri and Gomukh, the source of Mother Ganga, to be in the womb of the mother.
Wow. Thank you for that. Swamiji, social media.
Very important. But that media only connects you to outer world. But you have to connect to yourself, the inner world, the internet and inner net together. If you have it, you can see the true joy in your life.
Thank you. Sadhviji, the COVID-19 pandemic.
An emergency and an opportunity to emerge and see, to emerge from the ways we were living and to see the possibilities of a new way.
Thank you. Swamiji, COVID vaccine, yes or no?
Definitely yes, right now. But I want to remind you here one thing. Take the vaccine, no problem. But at the same time, the vaccine of the thoughts of the saints is very important to remember to this time. These are great vaccines.
Thank you. Sadhviji, the most important text in Hinduism.
All of the texts point to the text of ourself, of seeing ourself, reading ourself, and knowing ourself.
Thank you. Swamiji, the ultimate purpose of human life.
Self-realization.
Thank you. Sadhviji, the life of a sannyasi.
An extraordinary privilege, opportunity, blessing, and challenge.
Thank you. Last question to Muniji, and the same question will come to Sadhviji. Pujya Swamiji, last question hai, Dr. Lalit Sodha ka rapid fire round.
Super, so beautiful. I'm proud of you. I wish we have you here in Rishikesh.
आ जाता हूं अभी, आप बुलाओ
चले आओ।
और मैं-
आ जाओ, हमको एक महंत की जरूरत है, तिलक करेंगे। आ जाओ, कुंभ का मेला है, चले आओ, हमको एक महंत की जरूरत है।
और
आ जाओ।
साध्वी जी, आपके लिए Dr. Lalit Sodha's rapid fire round.
Beautiful, wonderful, and really such a joy to be part of. And I love Pujya Swamiji's suggestion of आप ऋषिकेश आ जाएंगे.
बिल्कुल, आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर ठाकुर जी की कृपा होगी तो अगले साल जरूर आएंगे. Thank you very
साध्वी
much
जी,
for...
जब साध्वी जी आई थी, when she was 25 and never went back, I am thinking जब आओ तो थोड़े से उसी तरह से तैयारी करके आना.
अच्छा, थैंक
ठीक
यू
है?
स्वामी जी. आपका आशीर्वाद है, स्वामी जी, साध्वी जी का, स्वामी जी का, दोनों का आशीर्वाद है. तो बस ठाकुर जी प्रसन्नता में है और आपका आशीर्वाद ले लेता. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for participating in the MINLA Zoom session rapid fire round with Swamiji and Sadhviji. We come to the end of our session of the MINLA Zoom session, and today I would like to invite a very dedicated human being for the Ugandan Indian Association, the secretary, Mr. Sanjay Bhai Thakkar. If he would, the joint secretary, if he would like to come and actually thank our guest speakers for today. Sanjay Bhai, may I welcome you on the floor. Sanjay Bhai, go ahead. You're all here.
Thank you, Lalit Bhai and Meena Ben, particularly very big thank you. As MINLA Group, you have been organizing these programs. Most of them I am attending. 2 of them or 3 of them, I think we did it with Lohana community of Kampala. All are still remembering that program. This is not the end of this type of programs which we are doing, educational program in the time of COVID. And I am really impressed by Swamiji and Sadhviji wonderful subject. I felt myself in Rishikesh when you were speaking. I was told by so many people, including my uncle, to visit there, and we see the ashram and the beauty of the place. But we couldn't make it last time. But now I have decided, as soon as I come to India, or we come to India, we are going to visit there and see a charm of the Rishikesh ashram of yours. There need to be lot to make people more spiritual and yoga and meditation oriented in this COVID time. And this type of program have added a flower to humans' life who have attended, and it is really beneficial. Two of the words which you have given, that medication is meditation, and mast raho in your life, super raho, which we will not forget. We thank you all participants who have spared the time, including our chairman, Mr. Mohan Rao. Our Indian Women Association chairperson also attended, and we thank all for participating in the program. Welcome to Uganda, Swamiji. We always welcome to come here again and see Uganda as part of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay Bhai. We really appreciate, as the Joint Secretary of the Ugandan Indian Association. Sadhviji, Swamiji, we have a very important, also another guest who's just wanting to come and say a quick Jai Sri Krishna to you. We have the chairperson for the Youth Foundation of the Lohana Mahaparishad, Mr. Chintan Vasani, all the way from Mumbai. And he's here to just grace his presence here and just to wish you a very happy day. Chintan Bhai Vasani.
Jai Gange, Pujya Swamiji, Pujya Sadhviji. I was introduced to you long back through Mr. Praveen Kotak, and I've always loved you. I hope next year, everyone who is watching us today, we and our loved ones, we come all the way to Rishikesh. The corona is gone, and we have our session in person and also do a Gange Aarti, the Royal Gange Aarti that you do. And I would want to end up with शायराना अंदाज में end करना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि स्वामी जी शायरी के बहुत बड़े उनको अच्छा लगता है. नवाजिश करम शुक्रिया मेहरबानी, नवाजिश करम शुक्रिया मेहरबानी, यहाँ आकर इस नाचीज को आपने बख्श दी जिंदगानी. Thank you so much, Lalit ji, Meena ji, the Ugandan Indian Association. Thank you so much for having you. And we all are super proud of the Indian community in Uganda. You guys are making India super proud. Thank you so much for having me. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Chintan Bhai. Chintan Bhai is the Lohana Mahaparishad Youth President in Mumbai. So thank you very much, Sadhviji. Thank you very much, Swamiji. And may I say a massive thank you to our Krupali ji, Nandini ji, and our Ali, who is such a super help to Meena Ben. And as I said, today's Zoom session doesn't come to an end till our super awesome lady, the super inspirer of these Zoom sessions, Mina Khagram. May I request you to say the last vote of thanks to our blissful, divine souls who have come to us today. Thank you, Mina Ben.
Thank you, Lalit. Thank you so much. This is my very humble duty to end the session with the heartiest thank you. First of all, thank you to Sudhir Bhai Ruparelia, Mohanji, Sanjay Bhai of Indian Association, my intelligent friends who contributed questions from all over the world, and our special thank you to Pujya Muniji and Sadhviji. Swamiji, we met you first. In fact, I met you first time in 1994 with the Goswamiji Kishore Chandraji. We were crossing the river in one boat where we met as the stranger and walked to Parmarth ashram. He suggested to visit Parmarth for dip, which is the cleanest place in Rishikesh. The first line that Pujya Sri, where you told me was, "This is your home. Aujo." Since then, every year have been visiting the most powerful place in the world. Here is the place we met little girl, very energetic, the international yoga queen, Sadhviji, who was trying to learn Hindi and was with Abbaji all the time. We got connected. Love you, beta. Thank you, Priya. Big thank you to Krupali and Chintan Vasani and Asandi Sana, to all the viewers of Facebook Live and those who have joined us on Zoom. And my sincere thank you to Ellie. Ellie, please come this side behind Ramesh, just to show your face. And can't end my session without saying that my cute cousin, Dr. Lalit Sodha, and my co-host, Ellie, thank you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Lalit.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm going to...
Thank you very much. Everything is all good, Swamiji and Sadhviji. We are very grateful. And if that's okay, Mina Ben and Swamiji, Sadhviji, if we can open the Zoom session to everybody who wants to say some Jai Mata Gange to you. Thank you, Mina Ben. You go ahead.